Full moon in Libra 2023. What are we supposed to expect? What energies are we stepping into? What are the vibes about to be? We are going to really start embracing the charm of the world around us. And how are we able to bring charm into the lives of other people? This is such a beautiful opening to where it's like, do you know how beautiful you really are? And I want to put it to you like that. The reason being is because the principle of this full moon has everything to do with the personal and who you are as a person and how you also relate to other people around you, your partnerships, your relationships, your love life, your love status. How do you use that status and what do you define that status to be? Libra is trying to always bring out the beauty in everything and everyone, no matter what. If there's a way for you to look even the slightest bit more appealing before you go out, a Libra will run through, fix you up real quick, and then be like, okay, let's go. We're about to go do it. We're about to go have a great time, right? The concept and the power that Libra has is being able to see the greatest in other people, right? Now, mind you, what's the challenge for Libra then? Having to see that the greatness that they see in everyone else actually stems from themselves or parts and aspects of themselves that they're relating to through other people. This is what brings in this full moon in Libra and why it's so important and why a lot of people are most of the time are just like, oh, full moon in Libra, it's about balance, right? As a matter of fact, I'm looking down at the live chat right now. So if you ever see me looking down, I'm looking down to the live chat. Much love, Reiki to Energy. You are here. Jay Fabulous, welcome in. We about to get into a really good time here. And I have so much that I'm working on. And I just have so much gratitude in my heart. I'm a little nervous for this live stream, and I love being nervous for things because being nervous for things means that I care, and I'm a pretty stoic person. So if I'm like, wow, thank you all for being here, like, I really do mean that. You know what I'm saying? Feels like you lost that part of yourself. Perfect. Let's get into that, right? This full moon in Libra is trying to have you recall the parts of yourself that you lost that are part of your cosmic contract to be. And it's that deep. Now I'm thinking cosmic contract. Yeah, I'm getting all whoop-de-woo, whatever, right? The idea though, for real, is that in the idea of the cosmic contract, I personally believe every person that chose to be on this planet chose the energies that they wanted. They chose the genesis of their experience. I think people's experiences obviously become their own. I think there's certain traits and things that people pick up on and they keep rolling with because that's what they resonate with. But I genuinely believe that the first innate, we just landed here, is very much on us. It's very much on what are we deciding to do? What are we deciding to become as we enter this space? Now, once we get here, what's interesting is that everyone else is like, oh, well, you can't go do that. Oh, you can't have this career. Oh, well, you could never do astrology. Oh, you can never be a musician. Oh, there's no way. No one else has done that before you. And the beautiful part of the world that we live in is that, yeah, no one else has done it before, but that's what we're going to do, right? What's up, fam? I am talented. What's good? Yep, you chose this life and personality, right? So I think people really do choose that aspects to themselves. But here's the kicker. I think when people choose who they're going to be, they don't reference who else is going to have to essentially be around them. I don't think people take into account that, hey, you having that real expression is going to scare somebody else off. You having that real part to yourself is going to make sure that other people may not resonate with that. And for a long time, especially growing up, a lot of people just see that as isolation. Am I not good enough? Is that person over there prettier than me? Is that guy over there the person that has a little bit more charm than me? Now, normally I was that guy for most people. Let me stop. But for real, the concept is, right, that there's so many differences and so many changes that occur in our lives, to the point where it's like a lot of the people that initially were talking down on you, a lot of the people that initially didn't like you aren't in your life anymore. And if they are in your life, it's because they're hating over from wherever they're at, trying to watch your Instagram story and act like they know who you are now. Drop a like if you feel that one. But genuinely speaking, I think that's something that happens a lot of the time. And now we're getting into this last full moon before eclipse season. I'm going to be covering a lot more in between now and eclipse season about more specific things. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel because, and maybe this is part of the full moon vibe, but I realized the other day where I'm like, first of all, genuinely speaking, I always wanted to be a creative. I didn't know what it was. And then I remember to myself, growing up, I used to actually want to be a YouTuber. Like when I was really young, I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I think a large part of my process in becoming an astrologer kind of led me away from some of the creative bits. I really took it serious to learn the bare basics. And I'm in an astrology class right now. I've done readings for thousands of people. I'm in an astrology class right now in the second level. But that's one of those things where it's like, this is a craft. And I designated myself to master the crafts and help other people to figure out their relationship to those crafts that I end up doing, which is why I love what I do, which is why I love having you all here. And I appreciate you all for being here in that presence, right? Performing a cord cutting ceremony to rid yourself of those hangers. I'm going to get there in a minute. I appreciate you. Much love. But now it's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, I'm 5 years in the game. I've done readings in person. I've done readings over online and Zoom. I've done readings for hundreds of people at the same time. I've taught classes in person. I've taught people, tutored, everything, etc. All of those things. I'm a certified astrologer. I'm him. I know what I'm talking about. I bring it to the people and I care. I genuinely care. And I think that's something where it's like, you know, I was looking so hard at what I thought was missing in the astrology community, not realizing that's the face that I'm meant to have, not realizing that's a space that I'm meant to do. And that really did boggle me for a very long time. And I think the induction of TikTok threw me for a loop, because the whole last year I was like, how do I make good short form content? I'm only good at this. But then it's like, well, what's the problem with me being good at this? Did I take a year to learn how to do short form content? For sure. One of my TikToks has 1.4 million views and it continues to go to this day. I'm proud of that. But at the same time, I want to be able to dig in and really show you all how astrology relates to the real world without it being so cosmic or too out of thing. Because astrology is literally the science of how the stars impact us while we are here on this planet. If you were on Mars and born on Mars, I'm sure that low-key, the things change. I think the way that those influences change. Earth is then a planet on their regard, right? Now it turns into a whole separate thing. But why is this important for here? Why is this even important for this full moon? Because you are here to be you and who you are for a reason unbeknownst to you, aside from the fact that you decided to be here on this planet. Okay. Much love to you all who are in here. I'm just checking out the live chat for a quick minute. I'm about to hop into the astrology. I just want to make sure that if there's any of the anyone ordered a reading for one of the live readings, that I'm honoring those as well. If you did want a reading during this live stream or at the end of this live stream, make sure that you drop a tip in I have a tip jar just right underneath in the description. It's a simple click, literally whatever amount you want. I will still pull something for you and let you know what's going on in your astrology or the tarot or whatever ends up coming up. Like I said, I have the live stream right here. So if anything, just please let me know, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff, because that's really honestly the currency. Money is money. I'm finna get mine. Y'all finna get yours. You don't have it at the time, a like and just a share can lead me to somebody who has way more money than both of us. And then we both balling. Shoot, I'll get you the finder's fee for that. Don't even trip. Nah, but genuinely, like, nah, but for real. It's one of those things that, like, I'm really excited to break down and get into. Lord, it's just that sinkhole deep. Facts. What's good, everybody? I'm hype. So what I'm thinking about doing before I get into the astrology, that I'm genuinely thinking, I'm working on a podcast. I don't want to rush it though. I don't want to rush it. At first I was going to rush it. I was going to pull some triple fire sign shit. Then I was like, okay, let's reel this back, right? I want to get really good at oh, my hand's being weird. Ooh. I want to get really good though at what's it called? I want to get really good at the videos and retention and all the other nerdy stuff to really bring that information. But I do think I want to do live streams on the new moons and full moons because, like, there's just something about the community aspect and being able to just be out and about that I really enjoy. And as much as I try to, like, be like, oh, it's a bit of a class for this, my heart isn't set up that way. So if you do end up wanting to leave a tip, everything else like that, it really does help. And all the money that I end up getting either goes into my personal survival or straight directly into the actual resources that we working on right here. You know what I'm saying? One of those readings can literally make it so I do 3 more projects for all y'all know. You get what I'm saying? But I really do appreciate the love, the support. And this is also me kind of representing that Aries to Libra thing, right? The Aries part is me 4 or 5 years ago was like, I'm doing astrology. If you look back, you know, you see my first videos, I was trying to figure out who I'm going to reach. Now it's 4 or 5 years later and I'm reaching you all. And that means something. And that shows the growth and the change of everything else, right? So before we hop into the actual astrology and I'll go off there, I'm going to hop over here real quick and let y'all know that this is the website, right? This is the website. You are currently here with the full moon in Libra. Here are the full moon live read tips if you want to do that as well. And specifically, just for this full moon in Libra, I have put down my astrology and tarot consultation by a little bit. Now, this is going to be a past, present, and future. So it's going to be about any topic of your choosing. It could literally just be a general for the full moon. Just please let me know and I got you. You have the one-on-one birth chart reading, which clearly, if you never got a reading, I am your guy. I'm the guy. And these are our personalized readings. 45 minutes long, and we have a 15-minute checkup reading later on so we can go back and any of the questions that might have arose in those 2 weeks or that week afterward, we can have a full discussion about and really break those questions down. Now we also have the weekly horoscope subscription and community, which I'm still working on mastering so everyone gets that. But you are basically entitled to free with the subscription, the weekly horoscope, and it's literally me doing something innovative, showing you the astrology, really breaking that down. And then afterward, we have the future of content editing, which is just me with my partnership with Descript. I'm now an affiliate partnership with the best video editor that I've ever come across. And if you've been realizing and wondering, man, Chad, these videos, the last videos you've been making, they've been crazy, bro. How you been doing that? Descript. Shout out to Descript. I'm going to be doing a full video on them later, but I think specifically for spiritualists, for super creative people, we have a real problem with being like, time to get this done. This is the solution. I promise you, it's so amazing. Okay, now that I'm done talking about nothing and there's some of y'all in here. No, but it's not about nothing. Everything's about everything, and I appreciate so much love. But let's get into the pure rawness of this full moon in Libra. And like I said, anyone who wants to drop the tip in between this time, feel free to do so through the link, and I will highlight that right after I'm done with this. So let's hop into it. As we can see, we have the full moon in Libra up here. Up in the sky, there is the moon in Libra. Now, for this full moon in Libra, let me stop. But the idea, though, right, is that the full moon in Libra that we have is literally opposite, as we can see, that sun over there in the 5th house. Well, it will change depending on where you're at. But the sun, Chiron, and Jupiter are all making a conjunction, right? Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter's gravitational pull is the reason why we don't get rocks hurled at us every freaking day from the asteroid belt. So as much as people hate Jupiter for being Zeus, shout out to Jupiter for allowing the world as we know it to keep on going. What's up, 2 Keys? How you doing? Regardless, right? Chiron is the wounded healer, and I feel such a pull. And from the last 3 years of my studying, I really want to get into Chiron, and I want to do Chiron justice. Because I think a lot of people start talking about Chiron, and they're just like, it's still wounded healer, and like if you have problems, this is where it's at. And it's like, yo, it's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. It's super deep. It's super deep, but I want to get into that deeper in a further thing. But the closest thing that I can explain to y'all off rip from my study is that when the Buddha said all life is suffering, he was talking about your Chiron, and wherever your Chiron is at is literally the point of struggle and triumph. When you see a movie and you're like, the main hero has to face his best foe himself, that's Chiron and Aries, right? This is like even in the concept of like, I don't know if you ever seen Gemini Man. It's a Will Smith movie with his weirdo self. Regardless, the actual fight that he had, it's a very like Chiron and Aries thing. Like he's literally having to fight himself, like a younger version of himself, right? Where on one end, Jupiter might be the older version of him, where it's like, well, I've been doing this all for years, and I've one of the best and most skilled at all this. And Chiron's like, oh man, like, you know, I'm just trying to make my way here, man. You know, I'm really talented, I'm really skilled, but like, I'm just trying to figure this out. And Jupiter conjunct Chiron on the sun is like, yo. And shout out to Debra Silverman. I love that woman so much. Debra Silverman had this podcast with Blue, who was another excellent podcaster and spiritualist that you all should check out. I'm halfway through it. I told them I'm halfway through, but I'm also triple fire sign. I'll be doing too much. But genuinely speaking, one of the most important and one of the most critical aspects that she said in that, which really resonated with my Sagittarius self, was that wisdom is the combination of being wise and being dumb. And I was like, that's me. I'm playing, but it's just the concept of like, sometimes in order to be so wise and forward, you have to have a dumb idea. Or in order for you to have like a new understanding, you have to be like, yo, I'm dumb in this area. How can I wisen up? And that wisdom, that in between, that balance, Moon and Libra, Chiron representing that, like that knowledge, Jupiter showing you that good luck and affirmation. That's what's making the real difference here. Now I talked about all what's going on with the sun, with the ego, with the world that's around us. Now let's get into this next part again, right? So what else is going on this full moon that's so important? In my exclusive The Lucky Stars community, which has a private YouTube playlist and everything, in that regard, if we look over to all the way over to the side, right, where we see the Mercury in the North Node, that's on the complete opposite end of where I'm pointing. Mercury in the North Node signify destiny is on the mind. And the reason why destiny is on the mind is because your destiny, all that fate, everything that you know is about to happen isn't finna happen right now. Not to say it's not happening, but it's about to take time. Why is it about to take time? We're about to literally be hit with eclipses in like 2 weeks. You don't got no choice but to change and alter based off of what's going on there. And we have the solar eclipse going on, which is going to be in Aries. And then we have the lunar eclipse after that, which I believe off the top of my head might still be in Scorpio technically, because they're shifting signs. So we're in like a really interesting time frame of even how destiny is making its shifts, how destiny is making its transitions over. You know what I mean? Like this is real. You get what I'm saying? Like that's part of it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, by the way. I want to make sure that YouTube knows that y'all are having a good time. Because if YouTube knows y'all are having a good time, it allows all of us to have a greater time in the future. So definitely leave a like, log in, hit the subscribe. Much love. That really does help a lot for this. And the more closer that I get to the YouTube partnership program, the easier it's going to be to streamline all of my content to one place for you all. And I can't wait for that. It's going to make life so much easier for everybody. Regardless, Another part to this, Pluto in Aquarius. This is the first full moon of Pluto in Aquarius, and it's in another air sign, right? So the first full moon of this shift, and Pluto in Aquarius is why all the technology is happening. Pluto in Aquarius is why TikTok probably finna get banned, to be honest with you. And if it doesn't, it has to get owned by one of our things, and it's not going to be the same app anymore. You get what I'm saying? And a large part of that too is in the terms of like them not trying to have people see what's really going on in certain places, because TikTok doesn't have the same type of the restrictions as some of the US companies do, right? Now, Mercury on the North Node again, right, is one of those situations to where it's like, let me make sure this person is alive. Is one of those situations where you know, there's a lot of change happening. 1 second. So just want to, everyone always wants to say, no one be hitting me up until I go live. They're like, somebody's talking a lot about a lot of things. I can feel that. I just know. It's the homie though, so it's all good. It's all love. I don't got no problem. I just think it's funny that do be happening. Regardless, back to what I was saying before, we have this Aquarius shift, this full moon. Everything else is opening itself up. And what these things opening itself up, there are new opportunities that are about to rise to you that you don't even know yet. You don't even understand how big these opportunities actually are because you're not in any position to even see them directly yet. But once you do, and once you can see them, you're going to be able to excel so much further. So how do you do this? Why is it so important? What am I talking about? Full moon in Libra wants you to remind you and remind yourself when you look in the mirror that you're beautiful. Not on some cliche shit, on some I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. How can the world move without me, right? And there's a part of it's a joke. Part of it's like a ha-ha. But if you have to joke and ha-ha yourself in order for you to speak those affirmations and that realness about you and towards you, then ha-ha, he yourself into an amazing world and an amazing life based off of those parameters. You get what I'm saying? Oh, we got some people. Sending the tips in. Some people want to get a reading today. I see y'all. No doubt. Full moon love, much love. So we got Sharon first, and then we have Jay Fabulous. Love my energy. Well, thank you so much. So I feel like all the information is helpful for a beginner to read and follow along. I appreciate that. I think one of the things that I think gets really screwed up when it comes to a lot of, not my personal circle of people, my personal circle of astrologers are dope. If you see me post somebody else's stuff that's an astrologer, go follow them. I'm very specific. If they're dope, if they do something really cool, I will shout them out. And I'll always shout out the people that are dope. There's a bunch of us that are not dope. There are a bunch of not great people out there trying to do this type of stuff, and it just doesn't come out in the same way. Or people may be really fully rooted in heart, like, I love this spirituality so much, but they don't even know how to relate to the ground. They don't even know like what's going on outside. They're just like, well, if we just believe in everything, magical things happen. It's like, yeah, bro, but did you put in the first step for it? Well, it was supposed to just happen. They said this, the astrology guy, the astrology lady said this. It's like, nah, like nothing moves until you move. Nothing starts going until you move. And if you think things aren't moving the way you want to, nothing starts moving the way you want to until you rest. That is the ebb and flow of how the universe kind of be moving. I don't have it down to a perfect science, but that's at least a part of it for sure. And it's all about the ebbs and flows, right? Next thing for this moon, let me just double check through. I want to hit all the main points that I remember that I mentioned in the last thing. 1 second. I don't know. I'm going to mention Mars in Cancer. That's what it was. So Mars in Cancer is also making a trine over to Saturn in Pisces on this full moon. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because Mars in Cancer is showing where like, everyone's in their feelings. That everyone is solely in their bag right now. Everyone's in their feelings and everything that, like, even me, I was like, do I feel like doing a live stream today? Because if you asked me this morning, I did not want to do anything. But I have a duty. You know what I'm saying? I have a duty. I have a reason to be here and show up for y'all, right? And I love doing it for y'all. And that was because of that, right? Because of that itself, that Mars in Cancer, because I was literally was like, oh, but I love the people. I got to do it. That's what got me up here to do this. That's what's bringing the energy today. Because truth be told, I didn't want to do this, but I never want to do much of anything. And I think that's something that like a lot of people relate to. And that's real. Like, I love doing this. This is my favorite thing to do. And sometimes I'm like, man, I got to get up and do that. I got to get kind of cute to do this. I got to, man, this is, but genuinely, right? The reason why this is important though for this full moon in Cancer though, is because you're going to start to see what do you want to do and what do you want to get up for? You know what I'm saying? And you know the difference. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you the perfect example of this, right? Perfect example. You want to go somewhere, especially as adults. Adults post-pandemic, don't ask me to go outside. I go outside when I want, right? But truthfully, the concept and the theme of this is that it's like, you know for a fact that there's 1 or 2, 3 people that can hit you up right now and you be like, you know what, I didn't want to do nothing, but I'll get ready for you. And you know for a fact that there's 2, 3 people that want to hang out with you probably right now, that if they hit you up, you'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so busy. I have so many things to do tonight. And I just can't make it. I have homework. But you're not in school. I just have so much homework. I don't know what I can do for you. I'm so sorry. Maybe we can reschedule. Maybe we can reschedule. Okay, let me stop. But genuinely speaking, right? This is one of those situations and one of those things that ends up happening. And let's just double check in the live chat real quick to make sure it's up to date. It sounds good. Regardless, this full moon is all about, and I'm going to actually just talk straight to y'all for this because this is the last bit before we start getting into the live readings. So this is the last call for any of the live readings or anyone that wants to do a live reading. I want to make these full moon transitions and these new moon transitions as genuine and real as possible. Please also sign up for any of the readings that are over on the website. Oh no, it wasn't perfectly placed. Whatever am I to do? Oh no, I'm clicking the wrong things. Oh no. Wow, look at this. Here we go. Yeah, wow, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. Here are all the things that you can do. Wow. And this is the last place for the full moon live tips. If you want to do it, cool. If you don't got it, no worries. A like, a subscribe, anything along the lines of that is perfect currency to me because we're driving this energy forward. And the more that y'all rock with me towards this 2023, I don't forget. That's something I don't really say too much, but I don't forget. Like people are like, oh, do you remember me from 4 years ago? I'm like, yeah, I remember. I remember exactly when we did our reading. I can look it up right now. Not in every case, because I still be forgetful, but like I do recognize the people that genuinely have held me down, and a lot of y'all are in here, so much love to you all. Regardless, let's get a couple cards for this full moon, actually. Because this full moon is just about you choosing to love that specific part of you that you thought couldn't be loved. And how are you going to nurture that? How are you going to parent or partner that part of yourself to the point where you know that if you just show up, it's going to be okay? That's the real question. So for this, we have the 4 of Cups, and I love how this just like phases out. Anyway, we have the 4 of Cups though, right? And honestly, when I see the 4 of Cups, I see somebody who's waiting on a miracle that they know is coming up. Not the fact that they're like, whatever. Honestly, I love the 4 of Cups as a card because literally just like in a regular tarot, it's just homie sitting there waiting for his miracle to pull up. He's like, yo, like this was the first person waiting for an Amazon Prime package that came after 2 days. He's just, where it at though? And the thing is, Mercury just went into Taurus. Mercury went into Taurus, which is to slow your roll. Slow it down. Stop and smell the roses. See the world around you. And then you see even the fact that I had to slow down for a second. Even in my voice, it's like, well, when we take things a bit slower, see how like even in that resonance, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, I'm we can get down like that. Let me stop being a goof. But the idea though, for real. Whoa, more tips. All I had to do was sound like a hoe when people start tipping me. Yeah. So if I started sounding like this for everyone's reading, would you come kill? Okay, I need to stop. Okay, so but that's also what this full moon on Libra is about. It's just like, how you doing? What's good with you? This is the idea though, right? Where it's like, are you going to shoot your shot at the person that you like? You get what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get into that in a second. But even if with the Four of Cups, this is like, yo, I'm really sitting here waiting for someone to like pull up, right? The Four of Cups is every great, wonderful, beautiful woman I know who just be single, chilling, the homies, love them, just being like, I'm just waiting for that right person to pull up. And it's like, are you serious? And you want to know what's crazy? I've seen it happen to a few. It's really dope. And they're cool people. They get their mans. I'm cool with them. I'm like, what's good, bro? I'm glad you're treating her good. Beautiful life. Love it. Let's see what else. But it's full moon in Libra. Y'all got this Four of Cups twice. Y'all done see me shuffle it. I just got this twice. What's good for Queen Mentality? Danny, what's up? That's how Bob Ross did it. Wait, Bob Ross? Oh, shoot, that is what Bob Ross did. Oh, shout out to Nina. You should charge extra to do a whole reading in that voice. Low-key, that's how I do my readings if I'm like not paying attention. You have to realize, right, on some like real genuine tip, that this, matter of fact, I'm gonna do this because I think it's funny. This is a part of like right? This is just fire sign. I don't actually just like talk like this in real life to everybody per se, unless I'm really excited. But like in general, I was taught this, which is really cool. It was on TikTok. There was some what's her name? She's really cool, lovely woman, great freckles. But she ends up explaining things about deeper parts of nature, the world at large, in religion, and she breaks it down in such a really good way. I think it's like Tweenie Witch or something. If I find her ad or you ask me, I'll look it up for you, right? But she was saying something because everyone compliments her voice. She has a really nice sultry voice. And then she was like, people wonder why I do this. And apparently, if you let out a sigh, right? And I'm gonna show you this real life time. If it sucks, it sucks. But this is something that's really good. And it reminded me of the Mercury and Taurus on the North Node, where it's like speaking from your real voice is going to also make a different impact. So someone's like, you should charge extra. I'm like, that's how much I charge for a real reading if I'm chilling. If you got a recorded reading from the jump, that's how I sound. Like, it is what it is. But the idea is like, all right, ready? I got you. If you want to find your true voice, and this is something I suggest you all do, and try this voice out on someone that you like, just give it a shot. Just see how it goes. And apparently if you sigh, right, without any type of trying to fix it, you just take a really deep breath in. You could do it with me if you want, right? So deep breath in. And at the top of your breath, you let out a sigh and you don't try to do anything else with it. Just and then you speak from the same spot that the actual sigh came from, and then your timbre and the voice and everything else like that gets a little bit closer to your actual tone and how you would actually sound had it not been. See how it's starting? And that's the type of thing, and that's the type of like communication that ends up happening with that regard. So anyway, but even now, right, I'm trying to get back into that thing, and it's not the same. You get what I mean? So that's something to really point out in that regard. And I suggest everyone else do what you can to find your own voice, because your own voice is what makes you attractive. It's what makes people want to like deal with you, talk to you, etc. So the more you know. Anyway, now that we've done this, I'm going to check to see who has done the tips, and I'm gonna get into some of the live readings. I'm gonna pull one more card. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more card. I'm gonna see if this pops up. I just for the reference though, for the full moon in Libra a second ago, it flew out, but I didn't consider it because I didn't start shuffling it yet. But it was a Death card and a 3 of Hearts. So I want to see if that pops up again in this reading, if I pull something else to give it more context. The Knight of Wands and then the Magician card. Okay. Full moon in Libra. The Magician is showing where it's like you at the underneath and on the underlayer of everything else are ready to tap into your magic. And the King of Wands is one of two things. This is either, I think this is a person, honestly. I think this is someone who's going to pop into someone's life with just like some silly idea that'll just spark you forward, right? This is like some for like any of you in here who's a lady and single. It's like some guy running up to you and being like, yo, I have tickets to this concert tonight and I don't know who to take, but I need to go with somebody. You want to go? And you're like, and he's like, I have 2 tickets. You can bring one of your friends if you want. I don't care. And you're like, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's fine. And you go to that concert and y'all chilling, and now you done fell in love. Now you done fell in love underneath that full moon in Libra. Doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of energy that I kind of see going in with this full moon in Libra. But to conclude this vibe, because I want to honestly, I'm really genuinely ready to start talking about eclipse season, and I want to bring to y'all some more information. I'm working on a podcast, an ebook, some guides, personal weekly astrology horoscopes, and I'm doing readings all throughout the week. So here we are. The Fool card and the Star card. I pulled the Star card on my Instagram live talking about the full moon, and I just pulled the Fool card again. The Fool card always reminds me of Aries season, and the Fool card is literally just like the whatever your old life was, done. Because the Fool card is trying to show you that, like, especially as we get into eclipse season, this is the last release. This is like everything that you thought was may not be it. And now that it's not it, what are you going to do to change? What are you going to do to make the differential? You get what I'm saying? But aside from all that, I appreciate you all for being here for this full moon in Libra transmission. And I'm about to get right now into the tipped things. So anyone else have any more questions before I hop in and I explain this part? Just feel free to drop it down in the YouTube stuff, and then I will be going through this stuff. Who am I? Regardless. Oh shit, I might actually have to pull this up. I don't know if it's going in order anymore. Okay. So as I pull this up, feel free to drop anything down in the comments if you want to have a question or anything else like that. I'm going to be a dork and look this up because I simply did not think of this ahead of time. But what do y'all want to see? Matter of fact, put down in the comments what doesn't get brought up in astrology that y'all want to see. Please be sure to drop that down, because I'm so interested to see where, maybe some of my other people aren't seeing what was happening, or they're just making stuff to make stuff versus who it's actually for. So if y'all have any of those comments, feel free to drop that down as well. Okay, I think we have everything now, and I have all the tips loaded up here. I have the live stream loaded up here. So let's get into this next bit, right? So for the first, we got 15 likes in this. Let's go. Sorry if that hurt your ears. I love you. All right, cool. Anyway, so let's get into this. This first card is for J Fabulous. Thank you so much for the love. Love your energy. I love your energy too. How about that? Look at that. Look at that reversal. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thunk it? So for you, what I got? We have the Justice card. So I would not want to be someone who has screwed you over ever, but specifically recently, because it seems as though with this Justice card, I actually kind of like how my hands are all like, it's because if you see me phasing in and out of stuff, it's because I have the chroma key on wrong. Or I'm just magical, who knows? Regardless, this is the Justice card, right? And the Justice card is trying to show you where you're going to find so many new places where it's like, wait a second, I was actually right about this. And the Justice card is the Libra card. So this full moon in Libra is about to be showing up, smacking up your foes, smacking up the people who have like basically been like, well, you can't do this job. I'm clearly set up for this. I would almost not even be surprised if someone at your job who might have been like, let's say fighting with you for the promotion, something happens to them. Not anything like terrible, but something happens to them where they're like, well, I got to take another job somewhere else. And now they're like, well, you're perfect for the position. And now you just got rid of a douche at work. You just got a new promotion. And now you're making more dough. And now you get to show up even more on your Libra like type of energy because you just eliminated a large part of the problem. So that's something that I definitely want to point out for you. But at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. So I don't think you're even going to see what that situation is. It's going to bring justice until tomorrow and the next day when that starts to pop up. I don't think it's an immediate thing either, but that's definitely something to check out for the next 4 days. So that was for Jay Fabulous. And I hope that it shows up for you before the weekend and you start getting the due justice that you deserve in whatever regard that ends up being. So that's going to be for the good old Jay Fabulous. Love your energy too. Let's see what we got over here. So now we have for Sharon, full moon love, right back at you, yo. So let's get it. We have the 9 of Wands. So this is showing where it's like, you have some reservations, but the reservations that you have are honestly warranted. I think it's one of those things where it's like, you've been working so hard and then kind of seeing how other people treat what you've been, like, let's say at work, right? You've been working really hard at work and you accomplish so many goals. Meanwhile, the person next to you hasn't even gotten that far, but they just have the boss's favor. And you're like, man, why you got the boss's favor? I do all this work. I do everything here, right? And this 2 of Wands is showing where it's like, this is almost in a way, and this is how I'm interpreting it. It's almost like it's a soft thread. It's a soft thread of like, oh, I do everything here. Now, what if I didn't give you my all for a singular day? Let's see how fast you fall. That's the vibe I'm getting here. You're like, let's see how fast y'all crumble when I don't do the most for you all. That's really what I'm seeing here. And I think this is one of those like really powerful like situations for you to be able to really step into that true value that you end up possessing. And it's like, yo, I'm not going to be walked over. I'm not going to be listening to all of that because I'm putting this forward. And the 2 of Pentacles is showing where it's like, this is kind of like finding peace. It's like kind of like finding peace to where you're at and being like, you know what? I'm not worried about it one way or another because I know that the universe, the full moon in Libra based on justice is going to bring that to me as well. So that's what I'm getting for you, Sharon. I hope that helped for sure. Do we have some new people? Oh no, that was from last week. That's okay. Regardless. So for Michelle, let's see what we got. Deets, April 17th, Long Beach, California. I'm not pulling up your chart right now, but I will pull off from the top of my head. So you are definitely late degrees Aries. So you're getting affected by this Libra through your 7th house. So this is all about your relationships. So let's pull this card about your relationships. Look at that. See how that works? Regardless. Now that I've done astrological math, 6 of tennis balls. Not playing. But it's the 6 of Pentacles, right? And the 6 of Pentacles, underneath this is the 5 of Swords. So what this kind of seems like to me is that there's been a defeat recently or a conquering, and there's somebody got defeated. Somebody got their ass handed to them. And that could just be like a feeling of like, oh man, like, I don't know what's going on here. Or like, oh, I feel like this just happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, either you just kind of got somebody messed up or somebody just got you messed up. And the prospect of this is like the 6 of Pentacles, and you have to reclaim what you give and take with your energy. What do you give and take with your vibe? Because similarly to the last thing that I pulled, if you just don't show up for that day, who's going to fill that role? If you don't give that energy that's going on, who's going to pull up to do that? Nobody else. And so you need to learn where to give, because maybe there's some other things, or this seems like you're in a situation prior Three of Wands. Seems like you're in a situation prior with somebody that kind of expected you to answer to them. And now you're at this point where it's like, well, I don't have to give you everything. I could give you a little bit. And matter of fact, when's the last time you done something for me? And now the script changed. Now it's like, oh, I don't know, right? So just be mindful of that. And don't take it too serious, because like, if they suck, they just suck. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think this full moon is a lot of release, and then just reminding you that your energy is your currency, and you don't got to give it to anybody that don't respect it. Much love. And for Chris, let's see what I got for them. All right. Drop something. It's the Justice card. Woo! I did just drop it for real, and I just caught it like that too. But the Five of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, right? So you're coming out of feeling, did I pull this for you last time? I might have pulled this for you for the new moon in Aries. I'm pretty sure I did, to be honest with you. But this still reminds me where it's like the Five of Pentacles is like you are leaving a dark night of the soul. And it helps out. Spring's just starting now. Spring is just starting now for our hemisphere, if you're on this hemisphere. But it's just starting now. Things are just starting to move. Things are just starting to begin. Things are just starting to bloom. You expecting things to be the way they are yet isn't going to happen until after this full moon, when the scales balance out. And this is the Justice card. Who's been disrespecting you? I think this whole full moon in Libra has so much to do with just like, if someone was talking ish, they finna get hit. And it may not even be physical. It may not even be something that like you try to do. But it's like, talk ish, get hit. If you're like, man, I hate that person over there, and you start just being a hater, then you're like, man, why can't I do this part? Why can't I do the same thing as them? That's the kind of energy that I feel like going on with all this. So that's just definitely something to keep in mind with that. But I think that concludes our at least readings for the tips right now. Let's see. Yep, so that concludes the tips reading. Let me just double check in with y'all in the YouTube live. But I am about to end this off in just a minute. If y'all have any more content ideas, things that y'all want to see, things that need to be brought about or talked about, be sure to let me know. Message me over on Instagram. That is where I'm the most active and I am the most easy to reach. Subscribe for the weekly horoscopes if you want the weekly exclusive horoscopes. It's $11 for 4 weeks of direct horoscopes that are like low-key exclusive. It's a beautiful time. I'm just so happy at how beautiful of a time this is, because for me personally, I couldn't have fully imagined this. Take that back. 3 years ago, I did fully imagine this, and now we are here. So now it's about, let's define the next ones, right? Let's define what's coming up next. And I hope that all involves all of you. And I hope that involves all of our soul tribe that we haven't even run across yet or hasn't even tapped into yet. And I want to be able to support just as much as I'm being supported and just bring this beautiful world a little bit more of a happier twist to it, you know? Love the fire. Let me stop. Nah, but honestly, appreciate the love. Thank you for being here, everybody. For real, for real. I'm probably going to stop the stream. I'm really bad at ending streams, but please make sure that you subscribe. Go tell your friends about it. Go tell your friends about it. And you be on the road and you see where I go when I talk about the stars. Go tell your friends about it. About it. Okay, anyway. I'm not with the head talking stars, planets, charts, life soul trip. I went in too far. I had to finish it. Okay, regardless, I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for listening to my Sagittarian ramblings.